Everybody's guilty. Everybody's guilty.
And now it's getting even crazier. Now there's rumors about T.D. Jakes being involved in these various situations.
Hollywood is evil.
Tell me why.
No, just listen. I love you.
Has it always been, or is it now?
What if the puppet master controlling it all, the person behind the curtains pulling the strings, is none other than someone you'd least expect?
Club Shay Shay, yeah. I was trying to do something there that hadn't been done. I thought that I had figured out the algorithm mathematically, and I thought that I could show that. And when I wrote it out to kill the careers of the people I was talking about, right? But it was so vicious that I erased all of the knockout blows and just left the jabs, so that the comic I'm talking about knows that I know your real story, motherfucker. I'm gonna tell this, but you know what else I know. So, yeah, I was...
Do you want to tell any of those stories now?
Well, I'm saying...
Katt Williams has always been a polarizing figure in Hollywood. His appearance on Shannon Sharpe's Club Shay Shay podcast reignited the conversation about his fiery takes and unapologetic truth-telling. For nearly 3 hours, Williams unloaded a barrage of accusations, theories, and personal anecdotes that sent shockwaves through Hollywood and social media. But amidst the chaos, 2 names stood out: Sean Diddy Combs and Bishop T.D. Jakes.
Dating back to the 90s, when his church was garnering more popularity, people attempted to dig into the bishop's finances. At the time, he was swimming in the profits from his books, music, plays, and speaking engagements. According to income tax returns obtained by the late Ole Anthony, Bishop Jakes and his wife Sarita had an income of $1.6 million in 1996. Cha-ching! By the time 2001 rolled around, the bishop told the Washington Post that he wanted to keep his current income to himself with his secretive ass. But even Stevie Wonder could see that the bishop was ballin'. He and his family once lived in a massive estate near White Rock Lake in Dallas. According to Culture Map website, the Jakes family held an Easter sunrise service on the front lawn. The website added, "One might think that drawing attention to where he lived was not a particularly clever move. If you are any sort of a celebrity and people know your address, well, it's time to move." Ain't that the truth? That was stupid. Bishop Jakes sold the home in 2005 and fled to a 15,000 square foot Fort Worth mansion. 4 years later, the location of his home was put on blast, literally. What happened, girl? On October 16, 2009, news outlets reported authorities were investigating an early morning explosion in the home's sunroom. Thankfully, no one was injured. As for his desire to live in mega mansions, Bishop Jakes told BeliefNet website, "Anybody who has sold 8 million books shouldn't have to justify why they live in a nice house." An Instagram account called Preachers and Sneakers puts Bishop Jakes and other evangelical pastors on blast by identifying their luxury purchases. In one post, Bishop Jakes is spotted in a pair of $700 Fendi sneakers. In another post, he's carrying a Louis Vuitton bag that has a price tag of almost $2,000.
And then there's Bishop T.D. Jakes, a man of the cloth whose public image is built on faith, leadership, and family values. But according to unverified TikTok claims and Katt's blunt assertions, even Jakes wasn't immune to the murky world surrounding Diddy's empire.
Now, there is also an alleged email out saying a plethora of other things that include T.D. Jakes with Diddy. I'm gonna let y'all listen to it. I'm not finna say nothing else.
As here, yo, bro, Cassie has turned over substantial amounts of evidence to the feds. I'm told that after Cassie had a long conversation with Blank, I have to protect this person. They're going through a lot right now. And her lawyers, she finally was convinced to give up the videotapes and audio recordings that contain footage of S parties and other private gatherings that feature some pretty powerful and prominent people. And get this, she even gave up a burner phone and USBs that belong to Kim Porter with incriminating evidence against Diddy. I'm told that there are a slew of artists, politicians, and entertainers that are about to be exposed and arrested for H10. I'm paraphrasing there, okay? H10. I'm told that Cassie's husband played a significant role in getting Cassie to turn over the evidence. It's to my understanding that Cassie felt that by exposing the truth, it would also make her look like a filthy Moor, and I'm paraphrasing there, because some of the videos she turned in, it shows her getting number one, okay guys, I'm paraphrasing again, and committing more disgusting acts that she was forced to do.
Katt didn't stop at vague insinuations. He doubled down, claiming to have turned down multiple invites to Diddy's exclusive parties, stating, "I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times just to protect my integrity. Diddy be wanting to party, and you've got to tell him no." He added with a laugh, "I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you."
Well, I don't think in Hollywood you get sexually taken advantage of as a black man to get a part. There's nobody in the history of entertainment, not even Eddie Murphy, that got offered $50 million 4 times and turned it down. It ain't happening. Most of the time when I see a comic or actor say that Hollywood, you have to do certain things to make it in Hollywood, are people who can't make it in Hollywood. Can't make it, so you come up with these claims that you have to do sexual favors to make it. But in actuality, to really make it in Hollywood is like hitting the lottery. The odds are against you because it's a playing field that most blacks would not excel in. If I told you right now to do a research paper on the achievement of black actors and black actresses in Hollywood, you will come back with a most disappointing research paper. Because even when you win an Oscar, it doesn't guarantee you money. Even when you've done certain things, it doesn't guarantee you money. So you have to be a hustler in anything, right? You're a hustler. You used to work at Walmart. You found the way to make money, and now you're successful. Let's talk about Taraji Henderson. Let's talk about Terrence Howard. People in that field who we thought was sitting on 20, 30 million maybe. Thought. When you think of Halle Berry, you're like, oh, you know she living in some big mansion somewhere. But here's people that took Hollywood and got played. And years ago, people always say, TK, you should do TV and do a film. But at a young age, I knew that wasn't for me.
TD Jakes, on the other hand, took a quieter approach, neither confirming nor denying the allegations. The silence, however, spoke volumes to those already questioning his ties to the entertainment industry's darker corners. Katt's assertion that all lies will be exposed resonated deeply with a public increasingly skeptical of those in positions of power.
Man, what I think about it is this, when I grew up in the church, the sinners was not supposed to have the same atmosphere with the saints. You have to be able to separate the two. So I'm looking at him as a saint going to a party that ain't nothing but sin. Drinking, maybe fornication, man on man, woman on woman, he on she. But maybe he there to lay some hands on somebody. Maybe he there to save some souls. I know he got a contract with Revolt, so I'm just like, it's just real strange that he would be found at any kind of Diddy party or any kind of place with Diddy unless it's in a business atmosphere. So now what he's doing is he's making, he's making the Christians look real bad right about now.
But why would Katt Williams risk reigniting old Hollywood beefs and inviting potential lawsuits? Some argue it's his way of reclaiming control in an industry that often seeks to silence dissenting voices. Others believe he's genuinely motivated by a desire to expose corruption and hypocrisy. Whatever the reason, Katt's ability to navigate these treacherous waters without losing his authenticity is a testament to his resilience.
Katt Williams talked about why he went off on Club Shay Shay.
Sure.
He said, I was trying to make the safe place for black actors and comedians where the politics and the hierarchy and the casting couch didn't apply. My whole career I was trying to do good black business that he could be proud of, and it was always stopped. Do you think that was the reason?
I tell you what, I've known Katt a long time. He always, I think Katt looks at life the way he plays golf. Katt, we play golf all the time, right?
Really? Okay.
And Katt, I would go, hey Katt, the hole is this way. He go, I know. And he would swing this way and the ball would go straight. Like, I'm not even lying.
He would swing the opposite way.
He would swing the opposite way and the ball would go straight. I'm like, how the and he would do it so much, it would annoy me. I thought it was, I like, well, how the is he doing this? It would look like it was going out of bounds. When he talks about how, and it would be straight down the fairway, and he would always put it in. Like, I'm like, how the fuck is this dude doing this? I think his perspective on life is the same way, where he looks like it's doing a thing that it ain't. And I've seen him do things. There are 3 or 4 dudes I've seen do things that they would never talk about doing, where they've given money or given opportunity or changed things.
I've heard this over and over again, from Lunel to Beanie Siegel to everyone. Boosie.
He's done things, him and George Lopez have done things that you would never hear about. That whenever those dudes say anything, I'm like, these dudes are as solid a human beings that I've ever met. And even though I didn't have the kind of interaction with him that he did, the kind of conversations he did with some of the people he talked about, I've always known him to be a stand-up human being.
In the same interview, Williams extended grace to Kanye West, highlighting the double standards in how society treats mental illness. You put him in a position where he thought he was God and called himself Yeezus, Katt said, pointing out the irony in praising someone as a genius, only to vilify them later. The contrast between his empathy for Kanye and his scathing critiques of Diddy and Jakes paints a complex picture of a man who's as much a social commentator as he is a comedian.
That's where I want to start, because when everything was happening, because I am not the same visionary that I believe that Ye is, I did not know. I want to be honest with you. I did not know what on earth he was talking about. He was saying so much to me so fast. He was obviously very riled up. He was losing, on the outside, losing absolutely everything, right? The Adidas deal, the Gap deal, his wife, his marriage was collapsing. And so you can only imagine when all of that is happening, he's losing his billionaire status. The entire world hates him. He's being kicked out of polite society. Ari Emanuel's writing a letter saying no one should work with him ever again in Hollywood because he's a raging anti-Semite. So you can only imagine that obviously I did not know what could inspire anybody to blow up their life in that regard. Like, what are you doing? Can you take it one step at a time? Yay, is what I was thinking. And the stuff that he was saying to me genuinely didn't make sense because I didn't have the information. And I will tell you, there was this frustration. Like, we were bumping heads because he essentially was expecting me to understand what he was saying and to react to what he was trying to tell me as if I had the same information. I'm not from Hollywood. I've never worked with agents and lawyers. I don't know what goes on in Hollywood. When you say to me, as he did, that they killed Michael Jackson, it's quite a heavy thing. They killed Michael Jackson, Candace. I'm going, what are you talking about? At that time, in 2022, I believed the yellow journalistic perspective that Michael Jackson was some sort of a pedophile, had weird relationships with children. And so Ye just blurting out that they killed Michael Jackson didn't make sense to me. He also brought up to me the Khazarian kingdom. Literally was asking me if I knew about Khazars. And again, if you're watching this series now and we're starting to speak about things historical, speaking about who the Khazars were, who the Khazars potentially are, it's just stunning to me that Kanye had all of this information and was frustrated with me because I think he thought at some point that I was playing a game with him. He's like, you're very smart. You know, you read tons of books. You have to know what it is I'm speaking about. And I'm going, no, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Here's where it gets even more gripping. Katt Williams has hinted that he's sitting on evidence that could completely unravel the public personas of Diddy and TD Jakes. Whether it's video footage, documents, or testimonies, the implication is clear. This isn't over. And given his track record of exposing uncomfortable truths, it's hard to dismiss these claims as empty threats.
Well, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know nothing about this. This is not I don't know nothing about none of this. Because I'm just a
a different type of chick. I'm telling, I'm suing immediately.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna know.
Yep.
I'm going on Instagram Live. I'm snitching. I'm telling.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah.
And I don't know how this works. So I guess you have to be in that. See, they're up in another hemisphere than regular folk too. They're very insulated. They can do what they want. They got people on payroll. And the people on payroll is guilty as everybody too.
Yeah.
Because that means that you done sold your soul to watch other people get taken advantage of, and you're aiding and abetting in that situation. So you're f***ed up too.
Yeah, I mean, Puffy's lawyer, not Puffy's lawyer, Puffy's bodyguards, have come forward and was, one of them said, one of them, Roger Bonds, was actually listed in the paperwork of Cassie's lawsuit, and he came forward and said, yeah, it's true. And the only reason I'm saying now is because I had 4 daughters, but...
He had 4 daughters then.
He had 4 daughters then. So that's the argument. Like, well, if it was so bad, how come you kept working for this guy?
Yes, exactly.
That's ultimately the argument there.
Everybody involved in all the R. Kelly shit, all the cover-up boys, all the ticket bookers, all that, and everybody involved that aided and abetted in Diddy or anybody who does this, Epstein and all them other, everybody's guilty. Everybody's guilty.
And now it's getting even crazier. Now there's rumors about T.D. Jakes being involved in these various situations and so forth. Not to say it's real.
No, listen.
I'm not saying it's real, but T.D. Jakes was trending the other day.
Some theorists have suggested that Diddy's current situation could be the result of a carefully orchestrated takedown.
Tony Fletcher was the accountant. She's also the one that came to me where Diddy had a thing where it didn't matter if you worked 20 hours a day, if you worked 24 hours, if you was in the studio 36 hours. He didn't want to pay you for the hours that you worked. So he had Tony Fletcher come to me and say, listen, Bonds got all the hours that he worked in, and she said, Bonds, can you please just put 12 hours a day on there? So she was his go-to with whatever type of things that had to do with money or office work.
One thing is certain. The tale of Sean Diddy Combs is far from over. Whether you view him as a visionary entrepreneur or a master manipulator, there's no denying his impact on the music industry and beyond.
Hollywood is evil.
Tell me why.
No, just listen. I love you.
Has it always been, or is it now?
Always.
Okay.
So that means, in the spiritual aspect of it, which you pay attention to.
Sure.
All these guys are building studios now. De Niro, Wahlberg, that everybody's on this tsunami wave of what's going to happen. What if the technology changes? What if I can do it right in this room? What if I can make a whole movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger right here on an app? I'm being an a-hole to make a point. I've learned it's changed so much. The most important thing is the storytelling. I just, on the flight over here, literally the flight you brought me on, I watched Jerry Maguire.
One of my all-time favorites.
They don't make them like that anymore, Patrick. Why? Patrick, why? Because Hollywood controls the content. What's Hollywood about now? Wait, because I did this on Jamie Kennedy, I got in trouble. Jamie Kennedy said, you're wrong. Hollywood is not elitist. Hollywood does not have a small club that it feeds itself and they make Barbie and MCU, and that's it. They want the money. The machine of Hollywood wants the money, not the art, not the quality film like Jerry Maguire. They don't want that. They used to.
For now, the world watches and waits. Will Katt Williams release this alleged footage? Or is the mere suggestion enough to keep his detractors on? As the dust settles, one question remains: who's next on Katt Williams' list? In a year where all lies will be exposed, it seems no one is safe. And for Katt Williams, that's just the way he likes it. If you found this story as captivating as we did, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on more thrilling documentaries.